Hello and welcome back. Today I decided to do an actual review on the EBR tank. I know I kind of did it in my first video, but I thought I might as well do an official one, and then you guys can actually search for it if you need. So to begin with, here it is. It's a really nice tank. Now 180 penetration on the standard rounds is very usable, especially at tier 8, and you got 175 average damage. I do find there are often high rolls for 200, which is nice. It fires 12 rounds a minute, which is excellent. It does have 2000 DPM, which it's not incredible, but it definitely works when you start putting the HE shells to use. Now it's got a 2-round clip. I find the 2-round clips in World of Tanks are really good. So like on the Burlesque, for example, it's got a 2-round clip. It does really well because of that, because you can just put your full damage out and then disappear without having to, spend the extra time waiting and possibly making the mistake of putting the 3rd shot out. And if you can't put the 3rd shot out, you have to go back and wait for that extra long reload. Now, on to say, aiming time is incredible, 1 second. They have really good dispersion values as well, which is nice. Accuracy wise, 0.34, which is good. It's just, above average in my mind. Now, it doesn't have any armor because it is a light tank. It does have, however, basically just spaced armor all down the side here because of these wheels. They, if you look at pictures of these tanks in real life, the wheels are actually really thick, so they make for excellent spaced armor. So if you're ever shooting at them, if you're just going for a body shot, don't fire heat. Just fire AP. APCR you can still, it's not as great because it's a lighter round. It won't just punch through, Alright, so 950 hit points, so it means you don't have a lot of hit points, so you've really got to make use of your ability to reposition them in these tanks. They are fast and very mobile, so it's good to make use of it. Okay, so concealment, I have 41% concealment in this tank, which is incredible. Obviously that is with food and a full camo crew as well, but with only that you'd probably get about 39%, which is still incredible, but I've boosted it up to over 40% by putting on a skin. It doesn't matter what skin you put on, but for example in particular this one gives me a plus 3% bonus on my camo on any map, which is nice. View range is notoriously bad in wheeled vehicles, but you have that superior camo, and you can. I find you can usually do just as well as any other tank in these, especially with the fact that you have that extra mobility. Now, in my equipment, I use coded optics. I'm not going to be using binoculars in it because I don't plan to be passive scouting. I'd much rather be a sort of semi-passive, semi-active, and in this tank, you don't want to sit still for too long. I've used fans just so I can improve everything on the tank, and I've also put on a vertical stabilizer just to improve that aim time, so I'm already 20% aimed if I ever take a shot, without aiming. It just improves that entirely. Now I have another replay because, I don't know, it's a nice replay. It's not a very long one, but it just shows how you can. It's a good replay to show how aggressive you can be in this tank. You can actually help lead the charge, and you can also really, with your mobility, you can surprise opponents and help out your teammates when they're in trouble without putting yourself in trouble. So anyway, to the video and we'll see that. Okay, so for this battle we are on Lakeville. I am in a platoon with a couple of clanmates. I was actually going to record my mouse video, I believe, this night, but then they sent me a request, and so here we are. Anyway, so I'm in my EBR, obviously, Shrimps in his Burlesque, and NATO in his AMX. So he asked where I'm going, and I'm honestly not sure. Initially, I am going to make a play up to here and spot whatever's coming, but we'll find that we're actually able to stay there and make a good impact on this side. So I am pretty confident I'm going to beat their light tank, who was the WC 132 on the right there. So I poke over. This is an excellent bush to make use of if you're a light tank. I don't stay over for too long because I'm relatively confident that I got spotted there. We're going to start slowly chipping away at this WC. I put a shot into his track, so he has now used his repair kit. And we attempt to stay safe while we reload our clip. Now our team is almost here to support. He managed to avoid his HE shell. I don't know why he's trying to fire HE at me. It is not something they want to do against wheeled vehicles. It'll just get absorbed in the tracks and you won't do any damage. Now, our support has arrived in the form of my teammate in the AMX M449, which is a really nice tank to use, by the way. And the WZ has fallen back. Now, from this distance, behind this bush, I can actually stay unspotted. See, I'm just testing it out there, and my sixth sense isn't going off. So I decided to put a shot in. I don't take the second shot because I know by shooting I would have gotten myself spotted. But it looks like that Udis isn't actually very awake. He didn't even look at us when he fired, so he probably could have put the second shot in. But the reason they didn't, another reason, is that I don't actually know what is back here yet. So we'll just have to play as well as we can until that point. In the meantime, I'm just going to keep lighting up the area, and maybe we can catch out some tank destroyers, maybe even our artillery, but since we haven't spotted them yet, I'm thinking they're probably not there. Now, the Udis proxy spotted me there, so I have to wait again. Looks like their artillery is firings. AMX is letting us know that the Batchat artillery is sitting right there. That's a pretty common spot for artillery. They'll either sit here or there's a wee dip in here that will sit as well. I haven't really looked around for any signs, and we spot a Scorpion. Now I've got HE loaded. We panned the first one, don't pan the second one, but there's still 342 damage. We would have done about the same amount if we were firing armor piercing. So keep an eye on that Scorpion. I'm actually really confident that nothing else is there at the moment, since I didn't get spotted shooting at the Scorpion. We put a good clip into that Scorpion, 530 damage. What just makes this tank so incredible with its high explosive rounds is that you get an 8-second intra-clip reload with 530 alpha, which is insane. I put an HE shell into that Udis' turret, which is actually really weak. You can do that with any tank with HE. It is the downside to that tank. I put it up here just to make sure no one else is waiting around the corner before I start putting shots into this Pershing. I've got APCR loaded again. I'm just putting shots into him so he can so I can just back up some damage this game. I don't have any spotting damage, so I've got to do the work myself. Put some shots into the artillery. He puts a shot into my teammate there, and it looks like the defender's been supporting us for a while now as well. Dave's Pizza. Okay, so we decide to cross since we're not spotted and we're not spotting anyone over there. And I go to a position that is actually really useful for light tanks. If you come over here, that bush right here, if you come down low, you can just sit behind it and get eyes for your team without without getting spotted. Now I do eventually load high explosive here. There we go. Because this G-Saw, while it does have enough armor to deflect anything I fire at him, if I shoot into his ass, since he's running away, I can pen. And eventually find their artillery. So finish them off. And there he is, he's running away. I've got green on his ass, so I'll put a shot in. And we reload. Now I'm going to attempt the clutch shot here, which goes in, which is nice. And we've just held that side with just 3 tanks and a tier 10 matchup. Of course, none of the tier 10s actually came our side, but we managed to secure that side for our team, and you know, there we go. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. It was a shorter video than usual, but you might like that more. It just depends what sort of battles I get. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.